Okay, this is video number 4 to accompany the worksheet for exponential functions, essential skill. So follow along with me and then work on the you try section at the end. All right, so I'm going to follow my directions off to the side. Kind of goes along with what we've been doing so far. The first thing I keep looking for are my initial values or my starting value. So this was a brand new car for $32,000. All right, so that's the initial value. That's what we're starting with. So A is equal to 32,000. Okay, from here, I think we need to figure out how much this car, unfortunately, typically cars depreciate. Not all, just most. So the car is depreciating, which means it's losing value at a rate of 11% APR. Okay. Now, typically on these problems, not all the time, typically, they'll say that your car depreciates at an annual rate, and then they don't necessarily change it so that it's like monthly, quarterly, daily. However, if they did, you would proceed the exact same way that we've done previously. So I know that my depreciation rate is going to be 11% APR. So if this was supposed to be split out, I would then divide by however many times per year I wanted this to happen. Well, since this is an annual rate and it's compounding annually, because there's nothing in here to tell me otherwise, I would just divide by 1. So that gives me 11%. Okay, now big difference between the previous problems. If this is depreciating, yeah, you start with 100% of the value of the car, but you are losing 11% of the value. So we're going to subtract this time. So what we want to do is we want to subtract those two. It's going to give me an 89%. And then from here, turn that into a decimal. That is your multiplier. Now, just by inspecting this, the value is less than 1, which means I expect, once all is said and done, after I've done my multiplying, that the original $32,000 that was spent for the car, that's not worth this much anymore. Unfortunate, but true. And then we want to know how much the car will be worth in 8 years. Okay, there's no need to change the 8 time frame because it's still just years. So in this case, I'm going to do n is equal to 8. All right, now we can go ahead and write the equation and then plug our stuff in. So this is going to be t of n is equal to our 32,000 we started with. Our multiplier now is 0.89 to the nth power. Okay, so now we're talking about 8 years from now. 32,000, 0.89 to the 8th power. Go ahead and type this in. And then, again, most of the time, if you are trying to, like say you want to trade this in to get a new car, or you're trying to sell it, chances are, unless you have kept it in like tip-top shape, you're not going to be able to round up the value on this. So I'm going to treat this the same way that I've done all of the previous problems. I'm going to go out to the second decimal place, and then I'm just going to ignore everything after that. So, unfortunately, but true, a 11% depreciation rate for a car isn't unheard of. It's actually kind of normal. So if you have your car for 8 years after 30, and you paid $32,000 for it, you're really only looking at the value being about $13,000 anymore, give or take. Okay, make sure you work on the you try portion as well.